What's up, guys? Welcome to Among the Fence, my YouTube channel where I do music reviews. My name is Aaron, and if there's anything you want me to check out, new, old, album, EP, single, whatever, leave a comment below letting me know what it is. And if you do that, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell icon. That way you don't miss out on any of your requested reviews. But for today's review, we're going to be checking out the new album, Misery Made Me, by the band Silverstein. And they're a fairly popular band, but if anybody's unaware of them, they're a post-hardcore alternative rock band from Canada. Started around 2000, and Misery Made Me is their 10th studio album. And I gotta admit, I haven't really been all that into basically anything Silverstein has done for the past couple albums. A Beautiful Place to Drown, their last album, was just really weird to me. It didn't seem like there was any direction, like they really knew what they were doing. There was a bunch of different random stuff thrown into different songs. It felt bloated, and it felt like just they were trying a bunch of different stuff and they didn't really know how to execute it very well. And I felt like if that was the direction that the band was going in, I didn't really have a whole lot of hope for them. But then I started to hear some of the singles off of Misery Made Me, and I was just I was moved. I was very much excited for this album to come out, and I was hoping that it would continue the sounds that the singles were putting out. The album opens up with the song Our Song, which is basically an anthem for people who have gone through some stuff and they came out on the other side better and stronger than they were before. And it has a great riff in the intro and kind of a unique staticky riff in the verse. The chorus reminds me of, I don't know, kind of like something Blink-182 would do, actually quite a bit, or maybe Boxcar Racer complete with Haze thrown in there. The bridge is very bass heavy, and the dramatic vocals really help the song peak, especially in the breakdown. And then we have the second song, Die Alone, featuring Andrew Newfield. It comes in with yelling vocals and a very slow guitar that basically erupts in the verse with a driving riff and distorted vocals. The chorus, I guess you could call it the chorus, is basically a breakdown. It's very, very brutal. That's why I wouldn't really call it a chorus. The verse has some nice hills and valleys to it that really keep you on your toes. You're not really sure where it's going to go. And I think that this is about leaving toxic people behind just because you moved on, you've grown up, and you're basically better than that. You don't really need them in your life anymore. And then we have Ultraviolet, which has a really cool melody in the verse and the intro. The chorus is big with fantastic hook, and I don't really like admitting it, but I really do like the chorus in this song, even though it's just so silly and very mainstream sounding. The verses are pretty empty though, but it definitely makes the chorus hit that much more, and I think that's why I like it that much more. The breakdown is pretty sick, mainly because of the vocals, which sound fantastic. This is probably one of the best radio songs that Silverstein has put out in a very, very long time. There's also some really good features on this album, like the song Cold Blood, which features Trevor Daniel. This song, I think, from the lyrics, I'm assuming it's about just being callous from everything that you see going on in the world and the news. You just become kind of cold-blooded and heartless, and you're not really fazed by anything. And it's got kind of like a slow ballady verse to it. The chorus has some great imagery from the lyrics, and verse 2 has Trevor in it, and it just sounds so freaking good. His voice just adds so much to the song, even as it carries into the pre-chorus before going into the chorus. It just sounds fantastic. Honestly, I didn't think it was going to sound this good. I didn't think it was going to add that much to the song, just because the two vocals sound pretty similar, but just that little change up makes so much difference. And then we have the song Slow Motion, which features Mike Hrenica, I believe that's how it's pronounced, as the vocalist from The Devil Wears Prada. The verses are mostly drums with kind of like little outbursts from the vocals here and there. And the chorus, again, is kind of mainstream sounding. It doesn't sound bad though, but it has a really nice hook. And verse 2 has like this back and forth kind of thing in the vocals from going to clean to distorted. And the bridge, which features Mike, it's, again, another great addition. Just having that little extra something different. I mean, Silverstein's distorted vocals sound great anyways, but having that little change just makes it stand out so much more and adds so much more passion to the song. I just really wish there was a little bit more going on in Slow Motion just musically. It just, I don't know. It just felt like it was missing something in the chorus, the verses. It just wasn't really anything hitting until you get to the bridge. It's Over has a heavy staticky riff in the intro with quick drums, guitar, and vocals, giving you a strong sense of urgency. The chorus has a beautiful melody to it, but it's it's definitely something that I've heard before. It sounds very familiar, but the hook is brilliant, as are the lyrics, and the bridge has a great build-up going into the breakdown that has very, very powerful echoey vocals. It's definitely the high point in the song. And then we have the song The Altar / Mary, which is one of the more unique songs on this album. They experimented with it a little bit and it worked out very well. Starts out with tons of aggression with quick vocals. Kind of reminds me of, I don't know, old school Silverstein. It's technically all verses, but verse 2 gets very heavy. I would consider that to be the breakdown. And it also has a synth beat thrown in towards the end of it. It's very chill, specifically in the vocal delivery, and it sounds perfect. And then once we get to the section part 2 of the song that would be considered Mary, it's just, it changes the entire song. It's all synth. The vocals sound fantastic. It was very weird. Definitely feels like 2 separate songs. Maybe they were written that way and they just figured it would be a good way to place them together. I'm not sure, but it works out very well. Bankrupt comes in with a bassy intro that explodes when the line "blow it up" is yelled. The vocals in the verse have like this weird effect on them that sounds okay, and halfway through the verse, that's when it really takes off. The pre-chorus has a build-up that goes into a rather calm chorus that feels kind of like the eye of the storm. The lyrics are very, very aggressive, and it has great metaphors that I enjoyed a lot. The breakdown is great, and it has like this chilling guitar harmony thing going on in the background. It sounds so good, and it leads us into the final chorus. I have an issue with the song Don't Wait Up just because I'm not a huge fan of most of it, and then part of it I love so much. Like, it starts out with this pretty dreamy melody thing, and then the verses are very drum and bass forward. I just wish there's a little bit more going on in the verses. The riff going into the chorus sounds pretty good, but once you get into the chorus, it's mostly just powerful vocals and nothing else. The music throughout the song is just okay, and I don't really find it to be anything all that great until you get to the bridge, which is absolutely brilliant. The vocals, the guitar melody, and it's just so good. It's so powerful and emotional, and it just sounds fantastic. Probably one of the best moments on this entire album, if I'm going to be honest. I also had, I don't know, I didn't really enjoy Live Like This that much either. The beat kind of reminds me of the Prodigy song Breathe, which isn't a bad song, but when I heard it, that's all I could really hear. The verses have a very carefree feeling to them. It has a good progression going into the chorus. Verse 2 features Nothing Nowhere. I feel like he didn't really add anything to this song. The vocals were too similar. There wasn't too much of a change up. Honestly, it would be kind of hard for somebody who isn't looking for the difference to really notice the difference. It doesn't add a whole lot of the song to me personally. And also the song is very, very repetitive. It leads into the final chorus, which sounds pretty powerful and good. But leading up to it, I wasn't really feeling it. And then we have the closing track, which has a very slow, clean guitar progression. I believe that this song is about losing yourself while you're suffering with depression from everything in life that's going on. I mean, this has been a pretty rough couple years for a lot of people. And it's very, very vulnerable song talking about taking antidepressants and just wondering if you're ever going to be okay again. It's, like I said, very vulnerable, very sad, very emotional. I love the placement of this song. Normally this song would come like, I don't know, halfway through the album to kind of divide the first half and the second half. Like, you have 4 really good songs, and the 5th song you have this really slow song that's kind of sad, and then you have 5 more really powerful songs to finish the album off. And I like that this one came to dead last. It's a perfect finisher. Sums up this entire album, everything that's been said all throughout it. I just love that it was last. It closes off the album perfectly and basically completes the story. It is a fantastic closer. I enjoyed this album so much more than I thought I would, especially after their last album, A Beautiful Place to Drown. This one just seems so much more focused. It seemed like they knew what they wanted to do. And after trying to execute a few different things and experimenting with stuff, it seemed like they honed in on that sound instead of just throwing it in there and being like, okay, this is it, and not really playing around with it a whole lot, seeing what works and what doesn't. I look for things that I don't like in this album, and it's really hard because I don't want to judge them outside of being Silverstein. I mean, they're not really known for crazy, insane, catchy riffs. They're not really known for super chaotic melodies and dynamic stuff and very progressive music. The melodies that you do hear sound good, but at the same time, you can kind of guess what you're going to hear because they're all kind of the same from song to song. Same with the riffs. The breakdowns really aren't that great musically, but lyrically, I mean, they hit hard, and the way they manipulate the vocals with different echo stuff, it makes it just that much greater. The songwriting throughout this album, to me, is what's so great. It's very simple. It's very easy to digest. It sounds new and fresh, especially for Silverstein. Yeah, so with all that said, I gotta give Misery Made Me by Silverstein a 7.5 out of 10. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. Maybe this album's just overhyped in my head because of how much I disliked A Beautiful Place to Drown. I'm not sure. Leave a comment below letting me know what you thought of Misery Made Me. Let me know what your favorite song is, what you would rate it, and let me know if, I don't know, this falls into one of your favorite Silverstein albums like it does for me, just because it's been so long since I've heard something really good from them. And if you enjoyed this review, don't forget to give it a like, leave a comment below, also letting me know what I should review next. If you do that, please consider subscribing and ringing the bell icon. That way you don't miss out on any of my future videos, especially a requested video. And I hope you guys all have a good rest of your day or night, whenever you happen to be watching this. And I will talk to you guys next time.
I was just an ignorant kid relying on my parents' to save me.